Okay, good morning to all of you. So today we are going to study. So in the previous class, we have already studied about the sole proprietorship and its features as well as the merits. You know. Now we are going to move on to the next topic, that is the limitations of a sole proprietorship. Okay, so we can say like we have to study about around 5 different forms of organizations, and in all these we have to study the features, the merits as well as the limitations. Okay, so you have to understand about the topic, then only you will be able to remember. See, otherwise you may get confused, because like you have to study about the limitations or features of sole proprietorship. You have to study the features of partnership. All this will be there, so afterwards you will get mixed up. So you have to understand what is sole proprietorship, and connected with that you have to study the features as merits and the limitations. So all these things you have to understand, you have to make a general idea about all these things. Okay, so such a way if you continue, then there will not be any kind of issues. Okay, so it will be easier for you to remember. Okay, now let us see about the limitations. Notwithstanding various advantages, the sole proprietorship form of organization is not free from limitations. Some of the major limitations of sole proprietorships are as follows. The first one, limited resources. So the first and the most important problem or the limitation of a sole proprietorship is that it is having only limited resources. So we have studied that sole proprietorship is owned by one person. Okay, so the entire investment is made by the single person fully. Okay, see, like if I want to start a business, I have to take my own money. Okay, so if I have some land or some other things are there, I have to sell it. Or if I have, say, like the salary is coming, so that out of that I have saved and kept some money maybe there. So out of that we have to use. So whatever may be the money that we are bringing in, all the money should be my own. Okay, so or means it doesn't mean that it should be my own, means I can borrow money from any other person, I can borrow money from a bank. All these things are possible. But you know, see, like if I am thinking that I want to start a business, and if I want some 10 crore rupees required, and I don't have any personal assets much. So if I go to the bank and I am telling that I've made a very nice project, that I am 100% sure that this business is going to be very successful, everything is sure. But if I go to the bank and ask loan of 10 crore rupees, they will first say that please get out. So they will not listen to me what my assets are there, or first they will ask what assets you are having. If I have 10 crore rupees valuable assets, and if I can give these assets documents, if I am giving to them, they may give loan. But until and unless I don't have any assets with me, they will not provide me loan. Okay, so either I should have assets of that how much money I want to have. Okay, and if it is not there, then we should have money. So maximum some like 10 lakh, 15 lakh rupees, or maximum up to 50 lakh rupees, we may be able to get a loan. Okay, but more than that we cannot get. So maximum resources that we have to get is very much limited. Okay, resources of sole proprietor are limited to his or her personal savings and borrowings from others. Banks and other lending institutions may hesitate to extend a long-term loan to a sole proprietor. Lack of resources is one of the major reasons why the size of the business rarely grows much and generally remains small. So we know that, say, like the sole proprietorship business will be always a small size. Okay, so it is not possible to start as a sole proprietor. If I am want to start a sole proprietorship firm, I can start maybe like a retail shop maybe there, or maximum I can start a like a margin free market or a distribution center, or this much only we will be able to make. You know, so a person may be able to make his own money like a maximum like some 3-4 crore rupees, or maximum up to 10 crore rupees, not more than that. So whatever may be the personal assets that he is having, that will be limited. Okay, so this is one of the main problem, and as I have already told you, the banks or any other financial institutions are not going to give you loan if you ask for a loan. Okay, so They may provide the loan until and unless if you are having some property to submit there. Okay, so as a if we have to take the loan, then we have to submit some property there. Okay, so this can be beneficial, but we cannot borrow money. And if you ask to your friends, imagine see, like you are maybe having very good friends, but when you ask money to them, they even leave their friendship. So if you know that, see, like many of the friends are there, so we so-called friends are there, good friends are there, they may be ready to give. But even see, like if when it comes into like if you want some 10,000 rupees, 50,000 rupees, or maximum up to 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees, the friends may be able to give you. But when you want to have a huge amount of money, they may not be, even if they are having the money, but they may not be trusting to give you. Okay, so if they are giving you this money, and if anything happens, or if the business does not become successful, see, like if I am having an idea that the business is going to be successful, but if the friends or whom we are trying to convince them, they may not think that this business is going to be so much successful. And if by chance, if the business goes in loss, then they will not get the money back. So what they will think is that they don't want to give the money. So some few amount of money is there, some 10,000, 20,000, or maximum 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees, if anybody may be able to give. But to a large amount of money, anybody will not be ready to give. So because of this, the resources of the sole proprietor will be very much limited. So his own personal assets will be there, and the maximum his own borrowings will be there. Borrowings from any friends or relatives or banks or maybe any private financial institutions. Okay. The next one is the limited life of a business concern. The sole proprietorship business is owned and controlled by one person. So the death, insanity, imprisonment, physical ailment, or bankruptcy of the proprietor affects the business and can lead to its closure. So we have already studied, when we studied about the features, that it is not having a continuity. Okay, limited life is there. So we cannot say that the business will continue for a longer duration. So if I start the business and if anything happens to me, then that business will be over. So that is the very big problem. Okay, so even if I have to transfer, or if any problem take place, even if the person dies, or if any problem take place for the person, then if he becomes sick and he is unable to run the business, so such a case, the business is going to be stopped, or it will even lead to the closure of the business. Okay, or otherwise, if anybody else has to take up the business, but that business will continue in the name of another person, not in, if you like, if I am starting a business and if I am finding some difficulty and I sell this business to maybe some of my friends, so it is no more my business. So it will be the business of another person. So then my shop is over there, my business is over there. Do you understand? So such kind of a problem will be there. So there is a limited life only there. Okay, so it may be running maximum for some 30-40 years. Okay, so it will not run more than that. Then next problem that we have to face is the unlimited liability. A major disadvantage of sole proprietorship is that the owner has unlimited liability. If the business fails, the creditors can recover their dues, not merely from the business assets, but also from the personal assets of the proprietor. A poor decision or an unfavorable circumstances can create serious financial burden on the owner. That is why a sole proprietor is less inclined to take risk in the form of innovation or expansion. So we have already studied this also, that there is a limited liability, unlimited liability. Okay, so unlimited liability in the sense that even the personal assets of the proprietor may be affected if he faces a big loss. So because of that, see, like if that is why, see, like why the most of the business are not growing. So you might have seen, if you consider, like if you go into Haraya market, or if you consider in your village itself, you will find that there is a samosa seller. So he is having a tela gadi, and in that he is making samosa and selling. Okay, so that is his business. So it is a sole proprietorship business, we can say. Okay, so he is having this one. So what he is doing is that in a day, he may be producing, he may be making around 100 samosa. If you imagine, see, like if he is making 100 samosa in a day. So, and he is selling it for 5 rupees, one samosa for 5 rupees. So he will be getting around 500 rupees as a general, In that, around 300 rupees he has to spend Is so his money will be there. See, like he has to purchase aloo, vegetables are there, atta is there, or oil is there. So many type of things are required. All these investments, that money he has to spend. So around 300 rupees he has to spend. Okay, and remaining 200 rupees is the profit that he is earning. So that 200 rupees is there, and with that 200 rupees he is running his life. Means he will purchase products for his family members. He will purchase food for them for the house. So his family activities are running based on the money that is collected. So the remaining 200 rupees. Do you understand? So he does not have an additional money, or a saving is not there. So every day he keeps some 300 rupees, and this 300 rupees he is purchasing aloo and vegetables and other type of things, and he is purchasing, making samosa and selling it. And in a day approximately 100, some days he may produce more, or some days it may be less. So it will continue like that. So what happens is that he is running this business for many days, but the business remain the same. There is no any expansion, there is no any growth. A samosa seller is always being a samosa seller only. So he is not going to see, like, if he can make use of that money. See, like, if 500 rupees if he is getting, and in that 300 rupees he is spending, remaining 200 rupees if he can store, if he can invest for the future, then what happens? So next day he can purchase the product for 500 rupees and sell the product in a little more, and he can make more profit. In that way he can increase the amount of profits like that. And after that, see, like, if he's selling a small samosa seller in a tela gadi, if he's selling, and he can become a small tea shop, he will start. Then after that it will grow, and it will bigger tea shop it will become. Then after that it will become like a dhaba. Then after that it will become like a restaurant. So in that way it will grow. Okay, but the problem is that he is not having money. Investment is not there, and he cannot take risk. Anybody is not going to give him money, and he cannot take a huge amount of risk also. Okay, so if he is trying to do this one, and if he is failing, all the assets that he is having will be lost. Okay, his personal assets also will be affected. So because of that, he will not be ready to take any expansion ideas, or he will not be trying to take a huge risk. So that is the another big problem. And next problem is that limited managerial ability. The owner has to assume the responsibility of varied managerial tasks such as purchasing, selling, financing, etc. It is rare to find an individual who excels in all these areas. Thus, decision making may not be balanced in all the cases. Also, due to limited resources, sole proprietor may not be able to employ and retain talented and ambitious employees. Those sole proprietorship. So this is another important problem, like a limited managerial skills or limited managerial abilities. See, if there is a manager, and if that's like if I am running a business, okay. So if I consider, see, like if I am teaching business studies, I can teach nicely. But if I take up any other subjects, like if I take accountancy, even though I am belonging to commerce group, but I am not very confident in accountancy. Okay, so problem solving and all, while I am doing, I may make mistakes. So when I was studying and all, I used to do, but now for many years I have not been doing. So now it is very difficult for me to. If I try, I can solve some problems, but it is not that easy. Okay. And in economics earlier I was teaching, so some connection is there, so somewhat I can manage with the economics. But how I am managing, or how I am able to teach business, in the same way I cannot manage other subjects. So in the same way, a person may not be expert in all the fields. So like if I am doing a business, if I start up a business, and if I am able to manage like a marketing, I may be very interested expert person in marketing. I may be able to find new customers. I may be able to make contact with the customers, speak very nicely with the customers, and get more products. Marketing, I may be interested. But there are also so many activities. So we studied that as sole proprietor, only one person is there to do all the activities, and he has to manage all the things by all the decision making is done by he himself. So if I consider about some financial decisions are there, if I have to make like regarding to some financial things, so I may not be that much expert. Okay, So some areas I may be expert, but there are some areas I may not be expert. Some areas I may not be able to do the things properly. So what will happen? I may not be able to succeed in that. Okay. So a sole proprietor is having this problem. So he may be expert in some fields, but he is not expert in all the fields, and he has to do or manage all the things by himself. And another problem is that his income is limited. He does not have a huge amount of income, or a huge amount of profit is not there. So he may not be very well qualified person. So he may not be having a BA or so much amount of knowledge, and or may not be there. Okay, so he is not knowing how to do the business properly. So he is running the business, and if he is finding that he wants to appoint a expert person as a manager, but see, like if we have to call a manager, an MBA holder, some 50,000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees salary has to be given. So the total income of the business may not be that much. So that much profit also may not be there for the business. So where he will be able to appoint a person with a 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees salary. So that will be a very big problem. So he has to manage by himself. Okay. So this is the another important problem. Managerial skills are limited. Okay. Though sole proprietorship suffers from various shortcomings, many entrepreneurs opt for this form of organization because of its inherent advantages. It requires less amount of capital. It is best suited for business which are carried out on a small scale, where customers demand personalized services. Even though it has got many disadvantages like that, but in India, if you consider, majority of the business concerns are of sole proprietorship. Large number of businesses are there. Why? It is because the amount of money required is very much less, and a person can handle the business by himself. So if we want to start a business, we can start up this. So there are also so many advantages, and we have to understand the disadvantages also. Okay. So in that way, we will have to start up with that. Okay. So this is about the sole proprietorship. Okay. Then next topic that we have to study is about a joint Hindu family business. Okay. So the next topic that we have to study is about the joint Hindu family business. Okay. So joint Hindu family business is a specific form of business organization found only in India. Okay. So this is a very special point that we have to understand. This type of business is the trademark of Indians. Only in India, this type of business is found. There are no any other countries. This business is not there. And nowadays, these businesses are getting reduced. I will tell you, or when we study about this one, you will understand what is the reason behind the number of the why this business is getting reduced. Okay, it is one of the oldest form of business organization in the country. It refers to a form of organization wherein the business is owned and carried out by the members of the Hindu undivided family. Okay, so you know, see, like what is an undivided family? So you might have studied about a joint family and nuclear family. You might have heard. So when you consider about the families, there are two terms are there, like nuclear families and joint families. Okay, or undivided families. So earlier, see, like in nowadays, it is the trend. Earlier, people were living like if a father and mother will be there, they are having 3 or 4 children, and they will get married, and their children will be there. All of them will live together in the same family. They will not get separated. So such kind of a family is called as an undivided family. Okay. So nowadays also in UP and all, we can find that there are a large number of families living in that way. But in our side, we can say that this kind of custom of being together is getting reduced nowadays, because like if there 3 or 4 children are there, even in my family, if it is considered, my father and mother, we are having 3 children, and I am after my marriage. Before my marriage itself, I am already started working here, and I am settled here. My wife and my children, all my family is here. And my brother also, he now recently he got married and he is settled in another place. And in my home, only my sister is there, and father and mother, only 3 members are there. Okay, so even 3 children are there, but 3 of them are living in 3 different places. Okay, and it is the same case for almost all the families in our area. Okay, so now in your area also you may find that these people maybe say like because of like advancement, people go into nuclear families, small families, you know. So like is in a family there will be a husband and wife and the children, and they live together. And when that if that children grows and when they get married, they get separated. Okay, so that is the custom, or that is the tradition normally used. Okay. So this type of business is carried out by the Hindu undivided family. So Hindu is the name used there. It doesn't mean that only Hindus are there. Means like India is a Hindu country, and in India we can consider that almost earlier almost all the people were Hindus. So people like other religions and all are coming from abroad. So they came to India, and they got established like that. So it's like if you consider about Muslims or Buddhism or Christianity, all these are foreign uh, religions. So if people come from other countries to India, see like Christianity came into India when the like Britishers came into India. Most of the Britishers, they were of Christians and so on, and people followed that kind of methods. Or even before the Britishers came, there were Christians, but it is not. It is a foreign religion. We can say that it is not belonging to India. So it came from other countries. Okay, if we consider about Muslim, they are also from other countries. They entered into India. Buddhism, all these systems, they came into India from other countries. Okay, and Hinduism is the only religion we can say, or Hinduism is one of the most religion that is existing only in India. Means it is grown up only in India. Okay, so it from India it goes to another country. So the origin is India. Okay, so that is why it is considered, we consider as a Hindu undivided family. So it doesn't mean that only Hindu families may be there. Other families also can be categorized into this one, but mostly it is considered into Hindu families. So that is why it considered as a Hindu undivided families. So in under Hinduism we have that kind of culture, is that all the people live together. So in one family, all the members, if the 3 children are there, 3 sons are there, or if daughters are there, they will be married to another family and they may go. But mostly the gents live together. So we have they come together, they live. Their children will be there, their grandchildren, and such a way it will go on continuing. When I was in Faridabad, we have when we had a family, and they said that around 30 families are there in one, means one family itself. 30 different people, like their means one grandfather already expired, 2-3 of them are there, means that grandfathers 4-5 children are there, then their children are there, all together around 30 families are. Okay, so they are living together such a way like that. So they say that and they have like a school, like a very big building there, they are having very big house, and all of them are living together in that family. Like, so that much may not be there, but like at least like 2-3 sons are there. When I was in Patna, there was, we had I was working in another school there as a principal there, and I have working in that school, and that school was run by a family, and that family also was like that. There were 3 sons. One father was there, he was a retired police officer, and his 3 children are there, 3 sons are there. All these 3 sons, they live together, and they, all of them together, they are running. One person is the main manager of that business, but all other 3 members, they join together and run the business. Okay, so they run the school, and they are having, now there are so many other businesses also. So they such kind of businesses are there. So the main the advantage of this one is that's like if it is getting separated, if there are 3 children are there, Okay. So what happens is that imagine that if in a family, if the total asset of a family is belonging like 3 crores, okay, 3 crores of assets are there for one family, and if there are 3 children, 3 sons are there. Okay. So what happens is that it will get divided into 3. So what happens? Each of them will get a 1. Is it no? So it will get divided into 1, 1, 1 like that. Okay. So this family will be having only 1. And if they are also getting separated, they are having 3 children. So it will go around the 30 lakhs. 33.3. So it will go around approximately 30 lakhs approximately. Okay. So in the first generation, 3 crore rupees of assets was there. When it comes to the second generation, it became 1 crore, and in the third generation, it becomes around the 30 lakhs. So if the value, if they are doing business properly, it may be increased. But that we can say that the ancestral property or the assets may be getting reduced. But what happens is that if these 3 crores remaining together, if the people are not going separate, and if all this money is invested together, then they can do a big business. And if this one person is doing this business, and if he makes 10% of profit, then he can make only 10 lakh rupees. Is you know. But if all together, if they stay, instead of making 30, they will be able to make maybe 50 lakh rupees profit. You know, so when they are joining together, there are 3 members, all these 3 members work together, then they can make more profit. Okay. So that is there. So there are few features of the joint Hindu family business. The following points highlight the essential characteristics of a joint Hindu family business. The formation. For a joint Hindu family business, there should be at least 2 members in the family and ancestral property to be inherited by them. The business does not require any agreement as membership is by birth. It is governed by the Hindu Succession Act 1956. So the formation of this business is that it is created by the Hindu Succession Act 1956. Okay, so this particular act is there, and it is coming under this act. And if this family is there, and if in a family 2 members are agreeing together, so if there are 2 members, like if there are 3 children are there, 3 sons are there, and in that 2 sons are agreeing, so both of them can join together and start a business, and they'll have some ancestral property. Ancestral property means what you know, see, like it is the property of, like if imagine like your grandfather is. So the grandfather had some property, you know. So that property was handed over to your father, you know, and that property will be receiving by you. And next step, it will be handed over to another. So the property which is held by our grandparents and to our parents and inherited to us, and it will be continued like that. So this property which is continuing from generation to generation, that kind of property is called as the ancestral property, belongs to our ancestors, you know. So that type of some property will be there. With that money, we will be starting the business. So imagine if there are 3 members are there, and they are getting their share. As I have told you, there are 3 crore rupees of assets are there in a family, and the 2 children are there, 3 children are there, and one is not willing to join, but at least 2 of them join together. So they, instead of dividing this money, they can start up a business. So they think of starting up a business with the 2 crore rupees that they have received as their ancestral property. And both of them join together, and they may run the business like that. Okay, so such kind of business is called as the joint Hindu family business. And liability of all the members except the Karta. Okay, so there are a few points we had to study about that. So one paragraph was there before the features. The business is controlled by the head of the family, who is the eldest member and is called a Karta. All members have equal ownership right over the property of the ancestor, and they are known as co-partners. So this joint Hindu family business is owned or controlled by the main member or the senior most member. So like if there's a grandfather, he will be the Karta. Okay, so he is known as the Karta or the leader of this business. Okay, and he is the one who is making the decisions. And other members, all the members in that family will be considered as co-partners. Okay, the Karta is the leader, and the other members are called as co-partners. Okay, So the liability of the member except the karta is limited to their share of co-partnership property of the business. The karta, however, has the unlimited liability. So one who is the eldest member in the family is considered as the karta or the leader of the business, and the karta is having unlimited liability, but other members are not having unlimited liability. Okay, so as I told you, like if total assets of 2 crore rupees is there, two sons they join together, they 1 crore rupees share is there, and this like A and B, two members are there. Okay, so they join together to start up the business. So if for if the see like there is a grandfather also there. Okay, so these three members together they start up the business. Okay, so the grandfather is the karta, and he has unlimited liability. He has to take up the entire liability. But these two members have got limited liability. Limited liability, maximum loss that they can face is 1 lakh, 1 crore rupees. That the ancestral property which they are supposed to get, that much only will be there. They may have their own personal assets which they have made by themselves, that will not be affected. Okay, but for karta, his personal assets also will be affected. Then the control of the family lies with the karta. He takes all the decisions and is authorized to manage the business. His decisions are binding on the other members. So it is in our family, like Indian family, as it is concerned, we have a culture of creating family, like we respect our parents, we respect the elder member. So the eldest member is the karta, and he will whatever may be the decisions made by him, we will be following. So there is a he is the one who is making the decisions, and other members are following the decisions. And continuity, the business continues even after the death of the karta, as the next eldest member takes up the position of karta, leaving the business stable. The business can, however, be terminated with the mutual consent of the members. The continuity of business is not going to end, because the eldest member, if the eldest member dies, the next eldest member will become the karta. See, for example, if the grandfather is the eldest member and he is the karta, and if he dies, okay, so the next eldest member is the eldest son. So he is the eldest one, then he will become the karta. Do you understand? So if he dies, then next eldest member. So in that way, it will keep on continuing. So even after the next generation, it will continue. But if all the members are willing to stop the business, they can stop. Then minor member, the inclusion of an individual into the business occurs due to the birth in a Hindu undivided family. Hence, minors can also be the members of the business. So this is the only type of business where the minors can get the membership, or minors can also join into this business. Okay. So in this business, we can say that there minors can also see, like if in my family, if we are having a joint Hindu family business, if we are running, and if my son is born into my family today, so today only one day only time is there, but he is also a member. So when he is, so the business membership, and if another person is there, whoever may be from outsider cannot join into this business. So if that family member only can become the member of this business, outsider cannot become member. Only by birth the membership is possible. And when a boy or when a child is born into this family, he will become the member of this business. Okay, so a minor also can become the member of a business, but he may not have any kind of like decision making power, and all these things may not be there, because there are already other members are there. But when he becomes an adult, he will get the power of taking decisions and so on. Okay, but he is also a part of the business, even though he may not be doing any business, or he may not be doing any activity in the business, but he will be also a member of the business. Okay, so these are the different features of the joint Hindu family business. Okay, now if you have any doubts, you can ask. Do you have any doubts regarding sole proprietorship or joint Hindu family business, or any other topics such like that?
Sir, in this kind of business, who is the main owner?
Join in the family business.
Yes, sir.
In that, main owner is Karta. Karta means the eldest member. Karta is the eldest member. So he is the main owner. Others are co-partners, means co-partner we can say. Okay. So if there is a grandfather and if he is the eldest member, he is the main owner. Means it is like a sole proprietorship we can say. So he is the owner and he is having unlimited liability. And others are just members. So, and others are not having much decision making power also is not there. So the Karta or the eldest member, he is making the decision. And he may discuss it with the other members also. See, like if there are 3 sons are there, so he will discuss with the other members and make the decisions final. But he will discuss with the other members, but the final decision is made by the eldest member, Karta, and he is the main owner. We cannot say that main owner means all of them are owners, and he is the one who is leading the business. Any
Sir,
other doubts?
and after his death, who will be the owner? Means who will take main decisions after the death of the eldest member?
After the death of the that Karta, another eldest member, whoever may be the, see, like if 3 sons are there, so the eldest son will become the Karta. So he will continue the business. Okay, so we will stop the class for today. The remaining portion we will discuss in the next class. Okay.
Thank you, sir.